BitGo supports native Solana staking through staking protocol Marinade. And Solana made other news as well of late. NYSE listed Western Union announced plans to launch a new stablecoin. That's the US dollar payment token, which will be built on the Solana platform. The Solana Foundation's GM of payments, Shiraj Sher, was at Money 2020 USA in Las Vegas over the fall and told Remy Blair why this development is significant. Let's take a look.
Yeah, I mean, it was great to see Western Union has selected Solana and Anchorage to issue their own stablecoin. I mean, Solana has always been about being the fastest, cheapest, and most scalable infrastructure. For the future of payments and finance on chain, it has to be infrastructure that works that way. And it's exciting to see Western Union, along with many other big payments players, start to come on board. So we're really getting this coalescence of this economy of payments on chain. So companies like Fiserv, PayPal, Visa, et cetera.
And I think when we think about blockchain, we know that speed and cost are always top of mind. So tell us how Solana actually delivers on this.
Yeah, so that has been the North Star of the Solana blockchain. The founder worked at Qualcomm. He knew all about building scalable distributed systems. So Bitcoin was the original blockchain, incredible innovation, but Bitcoin is digital gold, right? It's not good for payments. Ethereum came around, incredible blockchain, but it doesn't scale, right? 10, 12 transactions per second. So the founders of Solana really thought we need to build, if we want the future of finance on chain, we need infrastructure that works at the speed of finance, right? So today, we have 100,000 transactions per second, soon to be 1 million in terms of throughput. Settlement happens in 400 milliseconds, and each transaction costs a fraction of a cent, 1,000th of a cent to send an asset from one account to another. So that's really the infrastructure. The engineers who built the protocol understood that that's what you need for finance on chain.
And of course, we can't have a conversation about stablecoins without talking about security as well as compliance. So how does trust play into this?
Great question. And I would say that this is one of the reasons why entities like Western Union and Fiserv are selecting Solana. There is, in the core token program, smart contract that people use to issue stablecoins, there are a set of features that are actually embedded that allow a regulated entity to comply with a lot of the regulations that are required. So the ability to have confidentiality, but with auditability, the ability to reverse transactions, the ability to freeze and seize. You can do all of that with a stablecoin issued on Solana using some of these features. So it gives you the flexibility of working on a permissionless blockchain, but allows you to build in whatever permissions make sense for your business as a payments company.
Mm-hmm. And of course, when you're looking at real world use cases, what are you most excited about?
Yeah, I think it's the same thing that people have been talking about for the last year. Anything moving money cross-border, right? Because today moving money cross-border requires several hops over different correspondent banks. It takes time. So if you look at remittance companies like Western Union and others, internal treasury, capital management across the globe is one use case. And that doesn't even hit retail users, right? That's just more efficient allocation of capital internally. But then on the consumer and business side, P2P remittances, people sending money to loved ones in all these markets, businesses, trade finance, payouts, people, contractors wanting to be paid, but wanting to be paid in a US digital dollar that they can hold in an app and then earn yield and start to have neobanking-like functionality in their app. So all of the grassroots development that's happened in stablecoins, which is now getting a shot in the arm after the Genius Act, because now the US institutions and giants can really lean into the space.
Yes, and Shiraz, before I let you go, I do want to ask you a question about innovation as we move, not just into the new year, but also beyond. So what are you paying attention to, and what do you think really matters?
On the innovation side, I think one thing that people are really interested, there's a lot of talk and focus on privacy. Because if finance is moving on chain, today blockchains are very transparent, which is by design, right? You can see everything that's happening, and that doesn't work for a lot of use cases. So that's where, for example, we have this native confidential transfers feature on Solana. And I think something like that is going to take us to the next step of innovation, because today blockchains are very innovative, but at the core, they move an asset from one account to another, and you start to need to build on top of that, right? That's not good enough for a payments company. So I think things like confidential transfers and some of the features that I mentioned that you can do with smart contracts on Solana natively for tokens are probably the next step to really scaling this out in mainstream use cases.